Yes, it was. It was very contentious times generally, but I think we wanted our students, when they left the program and became teachers, to be able to do a couple of things. One, to not just counter a deficit point of view, but to advocate and put into practice a view that took advantage, if you will, the cultural knowledge, right, of the students and their parents in their classroom. Later on, for example, Louis Malle, in his work on funds of knowledge, was something that we were working with before it had that terminology. But recognizing that the community and its students had skills, knowledge, that we should appropriate and use to advantage in the classroom. And that meant our teachers were expected not just to be docile in classrooms, but to be change agents. That put a really difficult burden on them because they're the weakest link in the school, either the student teacher or a rookie teacher, right? So we had to learn to modulate that expectation. But the goal was always the same, to try to make whatever school or classroom a student is in, who becomes a teacher, to treat the students, regardless of race or ethnicity or class or gender, in a way that appropriated their skills and treated them with deep, deep respect. And one of the issues that we had to deal with you're talking about multicultural education, that's for them, right? That's for the minority students. No. What we're talking about here, it doesn't matter if you're a white teacher in an all-white classroom, these issues are the same, because it has to do with the knowledge about how our society is constituted, right? It isn't just for, the schools in southeastern San Diego. And I think that point got across and lived on.
Bud, I think, would be the first to admit that this was a collective effort with the faculty and the students. And Cindy and I and Gloria spent a lot of time working with Bud to develop courses, develop ways to introduce students to the classroom, because the traditional way of doing it, we felt, all three of us felt, was not an effective way to develop a new teacher. The traditional way was you went to the classroom at the university and you learned all these methods and studied psychology, child psychology, and then the last semester you went out to the schools and learned how to teach. And we felt that needed to be integrated, that the field experience needed to be much more integrated into the very early, the first day really, we needed to get the students up. So that's how PAL initially started. Was we wanted to have an early practice activity for students in schools before they knew much about teaching, even, just so they could learn the culture and develop some of their native skills for working with kids, and to some extent decide whether this is really what they wanted to do when they grew up, because it's a big effort, a big responsibility, but also a big commitment.
That went through the program then? And
there were very few. Mexican American or students that were able to speak only Spanish, not only Spanish, but poor Spanish,
right?
And poor English. They were just like I went through several years of that, so we helped each other. And we started going to the library. They showed me where the library was. I remember the 4 floors at UCSD, the old one, the beautiful library. And they didn't have that much material. So we started asking for material in Spanish, material in English and Spanish. And we started getting materials in English and Spanish. And then they asked me to go and teach a course. And I had the guts to say, sure.
We weren't easy on our students, I don't think. I think we were pretty rough. We had high expectations.
Yeah.
But we believed in you. We knew that you could get to what we thought you should get to. But I also think it was the most incredible program in the world. And the kind of teachers that are out there in the world are because of how hard we were and because of our pedagogical stance, but also our political, social stance. And the fact that you had a black woman and a Mexican woman and a guy with a beard. Schools would call us and say, "There's this guy here with a red beard, and we don't know who." It was Bud, you know. we don't know what he wants and what he's doing, and so we said, "He's okay. He's safe. He's really safe." And so you can let him in. So,